Hello. So it's been a hot minute, right? So I am going live while David Wilcock is going live, and I don't want to take away from his watchers. So I'm just going to do kind of a quick one today. I just did a daily read over on Instagram, and these are the cards that we got. So actually, it was like this. So it's about taking responsibility, feeling too responsible, feeling the burden of like, let me take a look at my whole life and figure out what I need to do. Two of Diamonds says make sure you dial down into what's important to you. Be your own best friend in terms of what you desire, value, and want. The Three of Diamonds is once you do that, a lot of opportunities might open up and there might be, it might loosen up and you feel less judgment. Hi, Green Knight. How are you? And the Seven of Hearts was on the bottom. So there's an emotional letting go of attachments, expectations. I have been having a lot of regressions lately. I don't want to call them regressions really because they're, going into a hypnotic state. And then I've been accessing like galactic lifetimes and higher realms and stuff like that. And it has been so cool. And what they're telling me is that, hi, Cosmic Sunflower, is that the exhaustion that we're feeling, muscle pains, like really bizarre body things that are just coming up. Oh, your Jupiter card is the Two of Hearts. Yes, I'm going to get into that. Hi, Eden. It's that we're letting go. Hi, Grumpy. We're letting go of old programs, and they're living in our bodies, and we're getting huge DNA upgrade. And so there's this huge purge energy that's happening. And so that Seven of Hearts is about, you know, letting go of expectations, wanting things to go a certain way, da da da. So anyway, why do I say look to your Jupiter card? It is because, okay, I also did a TikTok. So here's the story. My son comes to me and he goes, okay, so I have an idea for you. He's 28 and he goes, TikTok is really the way to go. It's amazing. And I just can't stand it because you get on there and it's just like constant noise. You can't make it stop unless you turn your volume off. Anyway, I think it's a great app. I think it's a great way of a lot of information getting out. It's just a little overwhelming for me. But he's like, get on there, talk about like a certain card and what all the birthdays are for that card. And da 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 da. And so I started doing this. And I started on a day that was the Jack of Diamonds, which is his card. And then I'm just going down from there. So I've done the 10 and today I did the 9. And it's just Kismet cards on TikTok. But anyway, and I can't go live yet, which is kind of a bummer. But anyway, they're all under 10 minutes because they have to be. Well, he's my Jupiter card. He's not just the Jupiter card in my hand. There are a lot of little complicated ways of figuring out how cards are aspected to each other, and you have to be about back and forth between this spread and this spread. And then if you add the ascending, the 43rd thing, you can get even another layer. And when I do all of those layers, he's Jupiter. He's nothing but Jupiter to me. And I'm like, listen to your Jupiter card. They have a lot of wisdom for you. So figure out what your Jupiter card is. Or you can identify somebody in your life that tends to have really good ideas, or whenever you encounter them, there's just a feeling of expansion, generosity, buoyance. Pay attention to the energies because it might take you years. It took me several decades to figure out why Seven of Diamonds is Uranian, and I finally landed on it. Do you guys remember how we got there? Little trivia question for you to think about. And here's a clue. How is the Seven of Diamonds related to the King of Clubs? What's going on there? But anyway, identify the energy first, and then you can kind of go trekking through to find out where's the causality for this, and then you'll learn a whole new layer of like, oh, I can apply this to this card and this card and this card. So would you like to talk about your Jupiter card and how they help you expand, or would you like to identify someone in your life and then figure out their birthday and then try to figure out how is this Jupiter? Cosmic Sunflower says, what can we see or read from the spiritual spread? Thank you for that question. That's a wonderful prompt. You know I love the spiritual spread. So the Jupiter card, let's look at that. Okay, so I don't remember what your card is, but I would say go both ascending and descending. So Green Knight Errant, who is a 5 of spades, says his Jupiter card is the 2 of hearts. So he's looking at the mundane spread, Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter. So it would also be the Ace of Clubs. From the spiritual spread, let's look at that. 5 of spades is down here. So Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, that's descending 9 of spades. That's Yogananda's card. It's also the card of death and endings, harvest, a universal, big, huge, gigantic picture. Let's look at the ascending from the spiritual spread. Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter. The Ace of Spades, the whole card system. That's Jupiter to you. So by consulting all of this, it might give you a sense of expansion, or it might be a very positive, uplifting thing, or you might just get some money from it. I don't know. Your 2 of spades, Jupiter card is the Queen of Hearts. Okay, so I've looked at this in terms of the general energy or the condition or the event that is Jupiter to you, but it's also the person. So this, for you, 2 of spades, it's all heart females. Grumpy says, if it were up to me, when I judged my Jupiter card, I would look at what condition it would have in my astrological chart. Yeah, what do you mean by condition? What condition it would have in my astrolog? And that's a really good way to go. And Grumpy, are you the guy from Scotland who said that I sounded like Willie the Gameskeeper when I tried to imitate a Scottish accent? Okay. I would also look at what condition it would have. It's always good to go back and forth between your astrological spread and, it's like, okay, where does Jupiter sit? Which house is it in? How is it aspected? Is it in a stellium? Is it, your Jupiter is in Pisces, so it's dignified or exalted. I like the word dignified. So 2 of spades, how is the Queen of Hearts Jupiter to you? The condition of marriage and commitment, sexuality, bliss, spiritual connectedness. Like, it's a very, very high card sitting in that Neptune position. But I would also look at, where is the Queen of Hearts here? It is vertical Saturn, so she can be kind of a hard ass. Queen of Hearts are not necessarily tender, loving, sweet, easy to be with people, and horizontal Venus. So Saturn and Venus is like karmic relationships. So karmic relationships are a blessing to the 2 of spades, and I've seen that in general. I mean, all relationships are a blessing, but because they make you grow. But 2 of spades just kind of get along with everybody, right? From the Ptolemaic point of view, and it's like so far beyond. Okay, for those who know astrology, yes, aspects also. Okay, my Jupiter card, same with the 5 of spades in the spiritual spread. In the mundane spread, mine is the 9 of spades. And so you can also say, somehow this is lucrative for me. How can I figure out how this card represents a lucrative arena? So the 9 of spades would be, I talk to dead people and get paid for it. Okay, my view count says 1 person. Do I just have bad internet, or did I become... No, it's not me. What happened? Anyway, feel free to ask your questions. Let me know what the view count is that you're seeing, because I'm pretty sure YouTube lies to me all the time. It's right next to Chiron and exactly opposed Pluto. That's your Jupiter. My essential dignities add up to 42. Thank you, Cosmic Sunflower. Oh, so that's interesting. So the healing of your wound and resolving your Pluto crisis, which might also have something to do with your Pluto card, which is the 4 of clubs, which is defining your viewpoint. My essential dignities add up to 42. Oh, that's cool. And that's like some other system that you're using. So 42 is the universal answer. It's true. It's true. That's so funny. Yeah, my Jupiter is in a stellium with Venus and... Is it Mars? Yeah, Venus, Mars, and Jupiter are all in Cancer for me. So it's like Cancer is like, oh, I have to feel like it before I do it. And I'm learning the lesson that that's not always true, because it's the 10th house. So it's like discipline. to get the career going. So you guys are helping me out because you're tweeting it. You make it so nice and wonderful. Queen of Hearts is my father's card. It's my daughter's father's card, ex-husband, and it's also my partner's ex-wife's card. Queen of Hearts is my father's card. Also, I've got Jupiter in Cancer too. I think it also means children. Cancer is children, so working in the arena of children. Like, I've got an elementary ed degree, and I have been a teacher's aide. I have been an assistant in preschool. It was a Buddhist-based preschool in Boulder, and it was really cool. It was like stepping into a bath of presence. It was such a cool way to be with these kids. So yeah, your father's card is, how does he feel to you as Jupiter? Does he feel like Jupiter to you? Sometimes Jupiter can be challenging because it asks us to expand, trust, have faith, make it bigger. It all depends on your whole chart, whether or not that's comfortable for you. How do you find the Pluto card in your spread? The quick way to do it is to go diagonally down and to the left. So diagonally down and to the left leads you to the Four of Spades, and the way you get there technically is Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto. So that's your descending Pluto. Your ascending Pluto is going to be in exactly the other diagonal. It's not the same involving the crown part. You do have to count it out there. So that would be the Ace of Clubs. So your Jupiter is the Two of Hearts, but your ascending Pluto is the Ace of Clubs. So your Jupiter and your Pluto, this is another way that they're connected. That's fascinating. Grumpy says, I would divide life into 7-year cycles and see Jupiter as the years between 28 and 35. That's interesting because I was going to say, oh, are you from Oslo? No, that's okay. Technically, in the card system, that's the Saturn period, the 7-year cycle. So 0 to 7 is Mercury, 7 to 14 is Venus, 14 to 21 is Mars, 21 to 28 is Jupiter, 28 to 35 is Saturn. Although, there are a lot of different systems, and Jupiter and Saturn are side by side kind of father energies, aren't they? Yes, my dad feels like Jupiter. He's also a Sagittarius sun, very loving, strict, a retired Army general. December 19th. That's my ex. Yes, that is because of the crown. So Queen of Hearts, their very first 3 cards, right out of the gate, are ruled by Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn. Mars is the military energy. Jupiter is the father, the loving father, and Saturn, oh, it's okay. And Saturn is, anyway, both Jupiter and Saturn are father energies. So they tend to see that big picture, that King of Spades and Mars makes them feel like they're responsible for everything, and control can be their love language. They mean well, and they are very effective at what they're doing, and they're very pragmatic and forward moving. So it's so cool that you feel supported by that energy. Oh my God. So my daughter is the 8 of clubs, Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter. They have a Jupiter distance between them. Okay, if we go up, Mercury, Venus, Mars, it's a Mars. They definitely have a Mars, Jupiter, because they have a lot of conflict, but he's also been very, it's a huge blessing to her, especially financially. But again, because he's a Queen of Hearts, sometimes he tries to control with money. But anyway, do we have another question? Shall I do a 3-card spread for all of us and just see where we're at? I love discussing Jupiter. What's my ascending Jupiter? So you just go to the right and up. Mercury, Venus, Mars. Oh yeah, the 5 of clubs. So the 5 of clubs is also, so what do you do when a card is both positively aspected and negatively aspected, or like pleasant and difficult? So 5 of clubs is my ascending Jupiter. I am their descending Jupiter, Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter. And I've always just like they rub me the wrong way. And I've had the hardest time trying to figure that out because I don't know, I like everybody. Everybody tends to pretty much like me. So, what is this weird thing with the Five of Clubs? Well, Jeannie summed it up perfectly last time we talked about this. So, I asked you in the beginning the trivia question, what do the 7 of diamonds and the King of clubs, what is their relationship? It's the reversal card. So, it's pictorially what is what is your reversal? So 5 of spades would be Venus, Mars. Well, it would be Mars, Venus, Mars, Venus, which would be the King of Diamonds. That would be his reversal card, but it's also Uranus. So there's a challenge there, and it's like, it's maybe not that hard because it's Uranus, so maybe you don't care so much. Okay, my dog is scratching at the door. So 5 of clubs is the reversal card to the Queen of Diamonds. That's why it rubs me the wrong way. Okay. And Queen of Diamonds tends to be really serious, sermonizing, kind of Jupiter. I just read that. Kind of judgy and prescriptive and sermonizing. And the 5 of clubs is because we're like, I'm heading up the Saturn line and everything is serious. This is serious, man. And the 5 of clubs goes, no, it isn't. It's like, whatever. Like, let's be curious. Let's figure it out when we get there. Let's be lighthearted. Let's change our minds. Let's open our minds. Let's just be kind of mercurial instead of so Saturny. So it brings in that other energy that's just like, oh, okay, I've been a little too Saturn. Maybe I need to lighten up. So when I really do break through into that 5 of clubs energy, it's Jupiter ascending to me, opening my mind, learning new things, researching when I get really curious, which this whole system just like, addicted to finding things out. That's why I love detective mysteries. Okay, a few comments. In astrology, Jupiter represents expansion and optimism. Yes, and faith and vision and seeing what's possible. Cosmic Sunflower, 5 of clubs I know are very black and white. Roses or thorns, no middle ground. That's interesting. You know, they put out one energy, but then they kind of are another energy. And I think that's what's difficult is that they're kind of both. And part of it is because one of their karma cards is the 4 of clubs. So it's like, fixed and, this is the way I think, but I'm also really curious. And they have that 7 of hearts in their hands, so they tend to be really sensitive. So they're really curious, but they're really tender. They've got this opposite feeling inside them. And maybe that's the polarity of the black and white coming out. Or people born under your Jupiter card. Oh, that's interesting. Yes. Expansion and optimism. 1 minute they're on the top of the world, the next they're in prison. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah. Right. I have Robert Camp's Book of Destiny program where it shows yearly 7-year spiritual, weekly, and 7-week spreads. How do you rate those spreads being used, or do you mainly stay with the life and spiritual spreads? They're really, really valid. They're totally valid. That is my foundation. So I didn't get the program, but I figured out the algorithm, and I totally use it. So the 7-year, what is the 7-year thing? Okay, so let's use Cosmic Sunflower. What's your age, Cosmic Sunflower, if you will? Let's look up the 2 of spades. Okay, so the 7-year cards, you go back to the first 7 years of life, and you're going to get a detailed blow-by-blow explanation of what is this 7-year period about? Where am I in this 7-year period? Okay, so at 34, you're in the last year of your Saturn return. So we know astrologically that happens 28, 29, 30. And in the cards, it's 28 to 34. So that influence is there. And so at 28, you're in the Mercury vibration of it. At 34, you're in the Neptune vibration of it. So you are dealing with the Neptune energy of your Saturn card, which would be the 10 of clubs. So the 10 of clubs is your Saturn. So Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn. The 10 of clubs, a 7-year focus on that. So what is the long range card for this 7-year period, which must be really in your face right now? Oh, thank you. Yes, Jupiter is overindulgence, right? The big fat guy who's drinking and drinking and eating grapes, and it's kind of a bacchanalian energy. Okay, so we would look at the fourth spread because this is 0 to 7, 7 to 14, 14 to 21, 21 to 28, 28 to 34. So this is Ace of Diamonds is your long range card for the 28th year. So you go over to 28. Okay, it says Ace of Diamonds here. I know you can't see that, but then, oh, there's the long range card, Ace of Diamonds for 28. You go to the very next period here at age 4. What was your Venus card at age 4? That is going to be your long range card for age 29. Okay, so what is the long range card? You have all these long range cards at the end. So the 10 of spades has been your 7-year, no, 10 of clubs, obviously, 10 of clubs. In fact, here's your entire hand in the long range cards. 8 of hearts, 6 of clubs, 6 of spades, Queen of hearts, 10 of clubs, Saturn. That is your hand. It's the long range card for the first 7 years of your life. Okay, so what's the Pluto? Oh, no, wait, let's go back to age 34. So that should be the 3 of hearts. Yes, your long range card is the Neptune card at age 4. So you could go back to age 4. I mean, it gets easier when you get older, and then you can actually dip into memories that are a little more clear. But was there something that happened at the very end of age 4, just before you turned 5, that will correlate directly to this year for you from your birthday of turning 34? It's the 3 of hearts, so maybe you were expanding, developing more friends, beginning to be a little more social. 3 of hearts means that 3 people were very important to you. Maybe you, mom and dad, or maybe there was a sibling or even a dog. So anyway, that's a really quick tutorial on how you find the 7-year card. So when you turn 35, you are going to go whoop down here to the 5th year. You will be rehashing year 5, and your long range card will be different. It will be the 8 of diamonds because that's your Uranus card, right, in your hand. So it can feel like the whole syllabus just changed. And I want to say to anybody who's over 56, not only does the whole syllabus change, something else big changes. And I know it's in the cards and I haven't figured it out. I might never. But there is something that like you throw away the old clock and you get a new clock. I mean, it's like a 49-year cycle or a 56 years. All I can tell you is that it feels like, oh my God, I don't know the rules anymore. And it takes about 2 or 3 years to figure out that you're probably going to be okay. It's just weird. I'm curious, says Grumpy, if anyone in the chat has met a person whose Jupiter represents them. Represents them. Do you mean represents, it feels like it represents you personally? Like for me, that would be, do I need a 9 of spades? Well, Yogananda is a 9 of spades, and he feels to me like an ideal that I could expand into. His Jupiter energy to me not only is unbelievably kind and forgiving, like the most benevolent father energy you could imagine. He doesn't feel like a father. He really does feel like a guru. Just like Jesus, this person that comes alongside you that's just helpful and loving. Wherever the Jack of Hearts sits for you, that might be how Jesus feels to you. He sits in my Venus, so he feels like my buddy. I just love him. I love him so much. He's so precious to me. But the Jupiter energy should invite you into some kind of expansion, to feeling like I could be this. The person in his birthday card is your Jupiter. Have you met a person who's your Jupiter card? Is that what you're saying? Yeah, the person, his birthday card is your Jupiter. Yeah, people who are the 9 of spades. So you could look through, you could just go to the back page here and find what are the birthdays of my Jupiter card and then see if you know anybody. So Grumpy, what's your card? And we can talk about famous people or principles, or we can also look at your ascending Jupiter card. And you might know some people there. You could also look at the spiritual spread and see what your Jupiter card is. How would the spiritual Jupiter be different? So, Green Knight, do you know anything about Yogananda? Or do you know a Nine of Spades? That would be a good question to ask. How did they feel different? Okay, so for me, Jupiter, Mercury, Venus, Mars. Oh, yeah, there's the Jack of Diamonds. There's my son. That's why he's the Jack of Diamonds. The Three of Diamonds is Jupiter in the other direction. Yeah, there's definitely a Jupiter thing there, but it feels more like I have to reach for it a little bit. So Grumpy, do you feel comfortable disclosing your birthday? Oh, Jack of Heart. So my Jupiter is important. Oh, you're the Jack of Hearts. Okay, so let's look here. Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter. It would be the King of Hearts. So it would be all men of the heart suit, including yourself. And yes, we are aspected to ourselves. And you represent Jupiter, Venus. Yes, you are in that intersection. Your reversal card would be the Venus card in the Jupiter line, which would be the Four of Spades. That's just a whole other thing. But all men of the heart suit are going to feel Jupiterian to you. Also, the karma card of the King of Hearts, which would be the Two of Clubs. They would feel Jupiter to you. I feel like that communicator, that enthusiastic communicator would just like really bring you out. Jack of Hearts, it's very complicated to be a Jack of Hearts. And I think to have just a friendly little Two of Clubs show up and be like, let's talk about you, in a friendly sort of way, might just feel really like such a blessing, because Jack of Hearts tend to be kind of serious. Life is a big thing. They're the Jesus card. Hey. Another Jupiter card, let's look at the ascending. Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter would be the Ace of Spades. So the whole card system is Ace of Spades. Anything esoteric, secret, hidden knowledge, and wisdom, that would be Jupiter to you. It is to Jesus, right? I mean, you can read this like him. It is so much fun to do that. Or the Seven of Hearts, because that's what sits under here. Green Knight says, yes, I know a couple of Nine of Spades, and I do know Yogananda. I have his book, but I haven't read it yet. Oh, maybe you're not ready. When we have something that we feel like we should read, we should do, why haven't I looked into this yet? Trust it. I mean, I didn't look into the Enneagram until I was good and ready. I mean, and it fits like a glove. My sister-in-law and I were into typologies, and we would go from one to the next, and I'm like, someday we're going to get into the Enneagram. And then when we did, it was like a massive explosion. It was so cool. So you'll get into it when you're ready, and I do highly encourage you to read Autobiography of a Yogi. I listened to it. You can actually find it on YouTube and listen to it. It's just amazing to see someone progressing through their life. And or that movie Awake, the kind of an biographical sketch of Yogananda, the movie Awake. It's very cool. My Devante card is the Jacket of Hearts. Your decon card is the Jack of Hearts, and it's the Jupiter card for somebody who, yeah, I know, voice to text, right? Who wanted interested in. No, I am the Seven of Diamonds. You are my Venus card. And the Ace of Clubs, or the Ace of Spades, is my Venus card. Ascending. Yes, the Jack of Hearts is, so the Decan card is the way we relate to people. It's like our highest potential in relationship. So, okay. No, I'm interested in an Ace of Spades whose planetary ruler is also the Two of Hearts. Yes, the green is the Five of Spades. Oh, so they are your Jupiter and Mercury, Venus, Mars, your ascending Mars. Very magnetic, sparky, dynamic connection to have Jupiter and Mars together. It will be highly motivating, very activating. You, as a five of spades, are supposed to go do stuff and learn to be on adventure. It's the adventure card, like childlike wonder. And that Jupiter Mars connection can make you like highly motivated, especially with the attraction component that comes with Mars. So that's very cool. And they're also, as an ace of spades, they're kind of a mystery unto themselves. And aces and fives have a lot in common. Independence. I need to just go be alone sometimes. And it's very important to have a partner who understands that and has the same need so that it doesn't feel clingy and enmeshed. Fives need their independence. Aces definitely need their independence. So that's very interesting. Plus, the two of hearts is also the ace of clubs. So, which is your ascending Pluto. So that will also challenge you to think for yourself in a way. There might be a little friction sometimes that forces you back into this question, what do I know? What do I think? And self-knowledge. This person might really hold up a mirror for you. So that's very interesting. My reading list is long. Yeah, and I've listened to the YouTube stuff. Believe me, I'm ready. Okay, you're just busy. Okay. Is it normal to have most of your family members show up in your lifetime spread? Yes. It's crazy normal. I have done entire family readings. Ace of Spades is the leaf touching the ground. That's beautiful. Grumpy, you so often bring in that poetic energy of a word picture. And yes, Jesus taught by parables, word pictures. So that's really cool. But Cosmic, yes, I have done enough family spreads, or, I have a couple come in, or, whatever. And they're all over. They're all aspected to each other because they're 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 here to activate each other. And every once in a while you find one person in the family whose card is not in relationship to anybody. And that's, if you've read Destiny of Souls, that's like either an activator card that's going to like trigger everybody, the one really young soul who's going to like become a drug addict and end up in jail, and everybody's like, oh, Uncle Jimmy, he likes it behind bars. A little Back to the Future reference. Or they will just be kind of like an observer energy, like the alien who's like, interesting stuff you got going on here. Interesting dynamics. Yeah. That's what my son is, the Jack of Diamonds. He is not karma to. Okay, there's a whole grouping of cards down here that don't have a relationship to any of the circle of seven. And they tend to be sort of the odd man out. That's how I track all the family connections for me. And he's like outside of it. And it is so refreshing, except that it's Jupiter to the seven of diamonds. So that's his one connection there. Expect with the ace of spades the transition from autumn to winter, which is beautifully said too, because you're going from the diamonds to the spades. So if you think of that as the final stage of life, I'm in the winter years. The ace of spades, yeah, it's a new beginning into maybe greater maturity, a more defined sense of self. Yeah, mastering the suit of diamonds, king of diamonds. I know it's important to me. I've achieved sovereignty, and now there's a new beginning of like maybe looking into the mystery. That's a beautiful picture. Are you into Sabian symbols? Those are amazing. Don't be too optimistic about it. Oh, you're talking about the connection, the ace of spades, but talk to her about the good old days. That's funny. Okay, so a little bit about the ace of spades persona. They're very often very sweet, tender-hearted, engaging, but they're going to have a deep past life wounding around betrayal, which will show up in this life very close to them, likely in childhood. Sometimes they killed themselves in a past life and they have to go up against that again. Sometimes they were killed by, I don't know, somebody who shows up as their mother or a sibling, or they were just betrayed. They were left. It's the Seven of Hearts karma card, as well as the Seven of Hearts as the descending Mercury. So right out of the gate, they have to deal with this betrayal. So it can close them down, or it can really make them authentic. And they do tend to be mature, so they're more likely to want to deal with it. They do tend to be very self-defined and independent, and there can be a little condescension, and they don't struggle. Okay, I could be way off the mark here with some of them, but the ones that I've met do not struggle with self-esteem the way a lot of us do. They don't have the self-doubt thing going on, which you, as the Five of Spades Green Knight, you've got that Seven of Diamonds in your back pocket. Well, she has it as Venus. So maybe there's a lack of who am I as a female, the whole Venus thing, or maybe women it's kind of bring me down. I don't know. Or help me see my unique value. That's the high side of it. But having that as a moon means it's like your emotional launch pad in childhood was there self-doubt? Did you feel invisible? Did you feel valued for your contribution? I'm guessing that's what the Seven of Diamonds would be. Plus, it would be all of the Circle of Seven cards having an influence. So you probably have a number of Circle of Seven cards in your life, in your family tree. Grumpy says, of course she will feel betrayed by someone, usually a tribe. That's interesting. Well, because there's that independence thing. So, and there's a Uranian quality about them. Why do I say that? Because in the spiritual spread, they're here at Uranus, Saturn. The difficulties of feeling, okay, that's the dark side of Uranus, is not in the tribe, or feeling that it's a part of their identity to be a part of a tribe. Aries Ace of Spades is my favorite. They will take the biggest career business risks. If she falls, she fall alone. That's what they believe. That can be kind of, they feel alone. Like, oh, I just got to go it alone, especially with the planetary ruler. And what you're saying is she's March 9th, right? That was my life coach, March 9th. Two of Hearts planetary ruler. But the Aries has the Five of Spades as their planetary ruler. So, yeah, they're going to jump big. Have fun. That's so fun. So, I did have to go to the bathroom when I started this, so I think I should go soon. Let's throw 3 cards for everybody here. If you're so inclined, go check out my TikTok and my Instagram. I actually did stuff on there. If you have a request for me to discuss a particular topic in my next video, please let me know. I know it's so vast, but and you're like, oh, I'm wondering about my 6 of Spades and Jupiter this year. But it's such a tiny question and it's so personal. It's like, no, just ask, because it's just a starting point, and then we can get into stuff. It gives me a starting point. And since I'm a 9, I tend to be sort of vague and all over the place. Oh, 9 of Hearts. A card for me for the next 3 months. That's very specific, Grumpy. It is is it a 4? Is it a 4? I'm feeling it. I can predict the card that's going to come up when we play cribbage so often. It's ridiculous. No, it's a 6. It's the 6 of Clubs. So for the next 3 months, Grumpy, things are going to go pretty smooth. Not a lot of change. You're going to feel like a certain level of comfort. Like, I signed up for this. This is the right timing. A more negative read would be, you're going to pay. You're going to pay for words spoken in the past. Okay, but I don't lean that way. Robert Camp will say that. But I would be like, oh, thank God, things are going to be pretty streamlined for you. And it does feel like there is a script that you have written for yourself in the astral, or, before you came here, as well as something that you've planned out. And they're kind of in sync. You wrote out this plan from unconsciously from a higher self perspective. Okay, anybody else a card? I love that people want individual cards. I will pull a card for our country, the United States of America. You're welcome. The Queen of Hearts. Okay, so this is the badass. This is the military-minded man. This is the nurturing but badass female. I get a lot of forward-moving energy, but putting things right and like Papa's home kind of energy, because in the spiritual spread, she's in the vertical Saturn line. She's in Venus, so she's relatable. But Saturn means like some karma coming due. It feels very positive from the perspective that we're going to get a crown line perspective. Maybe some revelations, disclosures, big perspective. It's going to be like going to therapy and being like, oh, fuck. But it's going to be good. She's a Pisces, Ace of Spades. She's dissolving and reappearing. Planetary ruler, 2 of Hearts, decking ruler, 3 of Diamonds. 3 of Diamonds. She should be as easy as 1, 2, 3, but she disappears. Oh, that's interesting. Well, and I think that's part of the Ace of Spades need for secrecy. They're very private people. And that Neptune energy, it's like evanescent, disappearing into the mist. And maybe that's where you're here as her Mars card to challenge her to stay physical because you're a spade. Be in the moment. That's what the 5 of Spades is about. Be here with me. Well, try to catch a fish. That's great because she's a Pisces. Let her come to you. Think about your bait. How does it smell to her? Give her a mystery to solve. Yeah, we could use all the fishing analogies, right? Be patient. Enjoy the sunshine while you wait. Lay out a picnic. Give her opportunities. Oh, it's so sweet. Does she swim alone or does she have school? She swims alone. Okay, does anybody else want a card? I'm going to throw a card for next time. Could we speak about what sitting in certain places, e.g. Mars or Saturn line, affects you that year? Oh, from the displacement. Yes, that's a much better question. To not feel that life is over. From Grumpy. Okay, what you're talking about is, okay, so Cosmic Sunflower at 34, specifically what you're talking about, and thank you so much for asking this question, for just throwing it out there. It's a great general subject to talk about. So would it be your environment or your displacement? I think it would be your displacement, and I would look at the spiritual spread, and the planetary intersection is perhaps more important than the card sitting there. At 34, you are sitting in the 8 of Diamonds, which actually means you're sitting in the Queen of Spades real estate. Is that what's going on? So the Queen of Spades is just Jupiter. So the Jupiter is like, whoa, big picture. Am I seeing the big picture? As a leaf will come down from a tree. My 7-year long range is the 6 of Clubs. I think I'm going to pay. Yeah, gonna pay. Fucked, man. No, you're not going to pay. Things are going to go according to plan. You might have a tendency to feel sort of bipolar, like I'm really this, but I'm also really this. Can't figure myself out. Might be a compromise. Might be a year that reveals life purpose stuff to you. Okay, Green Knight wants a card. So, Cosmic, yes, we will look at that, the intersection and how that influences your year. This is for Green Knight. I predict she'll pull out the King of Spades for me. That was our first card in the Instagram reading. Queen of Diamonds. So the 3 of Diamonds, whatever you were saying about that, is the karma card to the Queen of Diamonds. So there may be something to this about, since this is what's really up in your consciousness now, is this woman. Okay, this isn't her personality card, but you could say it's the personality card of her moon card. A moon card for a woman is her feminine, nurturing side. So she's going to nurture you with the truth. Yeah, so the Queen of Diamonds really is about speaking the truth in a powerful way that might rub you the wrong way, revealing something. You've heard me say this before. She heads up the Saturn line, and any card that heads up a line here in the Mercury, they're like the little leader. Like, we're going on a little Girl Scout hike and I'm the leader. They take it seriously, sort of. Queen of Diamonds is a bit vain, though. Not. No, I'm going to disagree with you. I'm going to throw that back in your face, Grumpy. Well, they are when they're young. Okay, I do take it back. Until they figure out that they're also fucked like the rest of us because their family life was totally screwed up, totally dysfunctional. And they have to take some responsibility for their healing when they finally get off of that pride thing, because they do feel kind of powerful. I wouldn't say vain. I would say, I don't know, maybe diamond females are kind of into their sparkly appearance thing. I definitely have that problem, kind of like preoccupied with how I look. But I would say the Queen of Diamonds issue is overconfidence, pride, until they get humbled, and they can be really judgy because they're very perceptive. They're very good at like analyzing other people and telling them what they should do with their lives. They got a lot of wisdom. Okay, but they have 7 of clubs in Saturn, which means discernment. And then they end up being really good counselors once they've dealt with their shit. I'm surrounded by Queen of Diamonds. My mother, my first 2 wives, and I'm actually interested in one as well. Am I a fool? Do you want us to answer that? As a diamond female, as a Leo diamond, having no planetary ruler and relying heavily on the Queen of Diamonds, I will speak the truth to you. I would say take a deep breath and be really kind to your inner child. This is kind of scratchy energy to be surrounded with. I would say be really kind to your inner child. And because you're a spade, you've got that King of Spades as your man card. Okay, your Jack of Spades is going to be like all naughty and like trying to wriggle out of things and manipulating the passive aggressive and I'll get them, fuck you. But the King of Spades says, no, I'm going to take responsibility for myself. That's all I really have to. And I would say just intuitively, I'm like, man, tend to your inner child because those queens will tell you what for. And as a 5 of Spades, you do have kind of there's a sort of innocence and sweetness about you that can make it easy for them to feel like it's okay for them to, preach at you. But I would also say that your life is filled with them because there's a lot of wisdom in what they have to say. So just put it through a filter, your filter, and then listen to yourself. Okay. Oh, Eden would like a card. Okay. Queen of Diamonds men are so charming, though. Queen of Diamonds men, yes, they are. They're also really fucked up. But they can be total assholes about it, or they can get the humbling. So Robert Camp is the Queen of Diamonds, and he rubs a lot of people the wrong way. But look at what he contributed. Look at the depth of his wisdom. Perfect example. I'm surrounded by Queen of Diamonds. Okay, comes with age. It's a final card in the series. Responsibility comes with age. Yes, the King is the final. Yes. It ends my birthday this year. Oh my God. It's the card of the woman that I've loved for 4 years that can't come to me because of my 3 of Spades sister. Whoa, that sounds deliciously complicated. What? How are you letting your 3 of Spades sister get in the way, dude? Like, what's going on there? You giving her too much power, or is it like a thing? I don't even know what I mean by that. Okay, Eden wants a card. This is some very fun riffing energy. Hey, it was Edgar Casey's birthday yesterday. And my friend Jess, who's gone totally incommunicado, my 5 of Diamonds friend, but I wished her a happy birthday anyway, and she responded. Yay. So that means it's the 4 of Diamonds today. Eden. Okay, it's a 2 or a 3. It's a 2 or a 3. No, it's the Jack of Spades. Okay, the Jack of Spades, Eden, is encouraging you to slip in between the sands of time, slip in between the folds of reality, and pull something out. This is just, I'm totally channeling this. There is a secret wisdom, a kind of order, a perfection, some divine guidance. I would say go multidimensional. This is a shamanic card. And I would say go multidimensional for an answer right now. Go into a meditation, get a regression, listen to binaural beats for a while. I don't know, do an edible, take some mushrooms. But this is saying that there's some information for you in sort of a shamanic realm. And if you know a spade guy, then it might mean that his jack is going to come out to play. I don't know. They're very clever. And they're very funny, as we can see with the Green Knight. Spade males are, they're unpredictable. That's what they are. Okay, anybody else a card? We're almost at an hour. Isn't that spectacular? Get to go listen to David Wilcock after this. My reward. It's kind of like a steady diet. Okay, one more card for okay, we can draw a card for a country. Is anyone here not native to the United States that would like a card? Should we do a card for Mexico? Why not? Diamond ladies and gentlemen are often accused of stealing other people's men or women. I've seen it many times. That's very interesting. Well, diamonds are into what they want, right? Desire. Yes, I'm innocent and sweet. Yes, you are. Here's a card for Mexico. I don't know why in the hell I'm doing this, but they get the 6 of Clubs. If we keep going, this will come up again and again. We're forming a nexus around the 6 of Clubs. It means karma's come due. It means things might go pretty smoothly. It might mean that they will have to hold true to the agreements that they've made recently. Because I think that, you know, there's all the deportation of cartel people. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on with that, right? It's awesome. Next month, I'm displacing the 6 of Spades. I feel like I'll be in for something interesting. Oh, next month, meaning your birthday is next month, and it's going to switch, and you're going to go from displacing the 8 of Diamonds to displacing the 6 of Spades. Is that what I'm hearing? Because they're not in order that way, so I'm missing something. So, but anyway, yeah, what that means is that whatever it is purposeful. That's a way that I sort of wrap up a 6. Like, okay, so yes, your birthday is coming up. It will feel very purposeful. Like something I say to myself when a 6 comes up is like, okay, this was meant to be. This wasn't a free space in my timeline. This was a filled up space that said this thing needs to happen at this time. So it's kind of comforting for me because like I get sort of overwhelmed with choice. But for people who are comfortable with their freedom, it could be like, oh, I have a required class. It's a thing. It's probably a general interest card. I'm referring to the 6 of Clubs. Yes. Yes, a general interest card. It is the general interest card for today. It's a very juicy and interesting card. I know a shit ton of 6 of Clubs. And my report on the 6 of Clubs that I wrote is fascinating. They're fundamentally really, really good people, and since I talked to my neighbor yesterday, we got talking about the Enneagram because we're both nines with a one wing, and we were talking about how the really, really evolved six typology makes you feel really safe and grounded and like everything's going to be okay. They have a guardian, a protector energy. My my stepson is the six of clubs, and when we were out camping one day, there was a rattlesnake. And we're all laying out in the sun, and the snake slithers into the campground and then, like, was getting really close to where someone's feet were hanging out of their tent. And and Jono, the six of clubs, he sees it and he's like, "Ah!" He screams and he gets this big giant rock. He's like, boom! Like he just went into soldier mode. They're the quintessential soldier, the six, the loyalist. They do the right thing. And they have that King of Spades in Saturn, which is they're compelled to do the right thing. I think they can get overwhelmed with that sense of responsibility and react to it in unhealthy ways, either excessively or not enough. But anyway, we definitely did feel safe and protected by our six of clubs. Isn't that a great story? Oh, six of clubs is your Jupiter? Oh, you're so welcome, Eden. Oh, good. In Tarot, it's the victor's card full of praise. Oh, that's interesting. Aww. Six of Spades is my planetary ruler, and it feels more like me than the Two of Spades. Well, it's also your karma card, right? Oh, that's my neighbor's birthday. The nine with the one wing. Yes, so sometimes the Ennea type shows up in the card, sometimes not. But yeah, that two, she's dating a six of spades, and it's amazing. It's going really, really well. So Mercury, Venus, Mars, that's your planetary ruler, but then you're sitting in the real estate of the six of spades. So I think the two of spades, their life, that six of spades says, oh, it's all planned out. It's pretty streamlined. And there's a lot of, I would say, not in a negative way necessarily, but a lot of consequence from past life. Like you basically just kind of set this one up. Like this is a two-part play, that lifetime and this one. You're not going to be done until you're done with this one. Green Knight says, I've learned a trick that found hidden cards. I use the human design date, and it really resonates with the people I've found it for, including me. Oh. I know human design, but how do you find the date? Eden, the six of clubs is my Venus this year. Wow. We definitely have a nexus around the six of clubs. Human design is a good combination of cards of yes, it's a very good combination. And don't you find that they all sort of overlay? Any system that you get into, you're like, oh, there are these themes. Like when Green Knight was talking about his Jupiter and Chiron and some opposition, and then we looked at the Two of Hearts and the Ace of Clubs, same deal. One is ascending Pluto, one is descending Jupiter. I think I use several modality for my readings to get a comprehensive look and confirmations. Yes, that's a very good idea because any system is going to be a little limited. So I don't have any of my decks handy, but I have a bunch of other decks. In fact, when I do a texting reading, like someone just texts me a few questions, I pull out my Osho Zen deck and then this other deck. It has like a compass on it. I forget what it is, but yeah, it's really good. And then sometimes one deck will sort of, there will be a picture or an image or a symbol that is referring to some other system, which is very cool. The little clues, like the universe knows, like this is the language you're dealing with. So I'm going to speak to you in your language or languages. Just one day because of the calendar, you need to know where to set your starting point. Oh, you're welcome. You wish you were Joker? Okay, you're Joker. I do not wish I was a Joker. They are weird. Every one of them I've met. Some are amazing. One was a female priest in my brother's Episcopal church, and she kicked ass. She was really awesome, but they can be really weird. The draconic charts and hello charts are great for starting points. Oh, helio, not hello. Yes. Well, you are so welcome. I'm going to go ahead and close it up. Thank you so much for being with me. And this was so much fun, especially with you guys riffing. Okay. Have a great day, you guys. Talk to you later.